Good morning. Pull up a chair, get yourself a coffee, get yourself some water, because today we're going to chat about men and the lives of men. We're going to have a little conversation, and it's only going to take 10 to 15 minutes. So if you want to get yourself comfortable, join in. Join in. Leave comments down below if you find any of these topics or questions that I have, answers that I provide, if you find them helpful or if you need any more detail on them. So it is just a normal conversation. It's just us. So I want you to feel like this is home. It's called the men's room for a reason. Of course, women can potentially listen in, but I'm sure that they will more than likely approve with these conversations, because none of that is ever misogynistic. It's not against women. It's not to make women feel weak or inferior. This is to elevate men, because I feel like most of us, and I mean you can potentially relate, most of us are or feel inferior. We feel we have some insecurities with how life has changed for us. Obviously back in the day, 2000 plus years ago, men were viewed as superior, kings. You're talking about soldiers, commanders, lieutenants. They were quite high up, ranked up, and it was an honor to be a man, in a sense. Like, it was, to have a rank. And the nice thing about women is they took pride in their husband being that rank. They took pride to stay at home and look after the kids and make sure that everything is, perfect for when he comes back from war, and just be there. She was grateful for that position, and we were grateful for ours. But obviously life has changed, and that's why I feel like I want to talk about these things, because it's weighing heavily on my shoulders to this day. I don't understand why. I don't know why these thoughts are in my head, and why I feel like I even have to share them. But I want to share them in a positive, beautiful way, and not troll on social media and look like a misogynistic prick when I say things that I know is not against women. I am all for women. My wife is an amazing person. She works really hard. She looks after me in every way possible. I'm talking about motivation, making food, washing the clothes, washing dishes. Yes, I do half of the work as well. I also do washing the clothes and the dishes and things like that. I'm not saying that's all she does, but I'm saying she provides in so many ways than previous women did. Financially, she's bringing in money as well, which helps our family, in a sense, our two cats and us as a couple, to elevate our life and get a bigger house, bigger TV, a nicer car, move into a better residential area. So yeah, my wife is contributing a lot, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to talk to you as a man, right? That's, you're here, you're a man, and you're finding out why is it that nowadays, right, it feels like woman has taken over, in a sense. At least it feels like that. It's not true. Let me put that straight first. It's not true, but it feels like they've taken over. And the reason for that is not because there's no wars and things like that, because there are still wars going on, and I'm saddened about that. But I'm talking about, maybe it's an inner war between us, but we sit at home and we potentially play video games, or we potentially have a job that we go to that we not necessarily like, but we do it because that's just who we are as men, and all human beings. We work for money, but when you come home, you have this sense of, you know what, I'm not necessarily needed. I do the work, I bring in the money, but there's no wars for me to fight. There's nothing crazy that I have to prove to my wife that I'm this honorable man. So you sit and you're stuck with, how can I prove to her that I'm this great man? And then you want things from your wife. Maybe you want more intimacy. You feel like you want a hug, a kiss. Maybe you want to make love to your wife. See, things like that. Whatever it is that you want to share with her, you almost too afraid to ask, because it kind of leans to a feminine side, like, or a saddened side, like, oh, I just need a hug. I just need a little bit of intimacy. So now as men, we don't get that. I mean, listen, I'm asking I'm asking the question. Do you agree with that? Or am I just sucking this out of my thumb and I'm the only one that thinks that way? I'm just saying sometimes, or the reason why I'm making these conversations and having these chats is so that we can elevate ourselves to become better, because we never used to be like that. We never used to be like that. We respected women, for sure, 100%, which I still do. But there was a sense of pride in honesty and truth and coming home and saying what was on your mind, regardless of what, if she might leave or stay. Because I think we're now so afraid, because before, like I said, mentioned before years ago, there was almost no chance that a woman would leave you, because you were like the head, you were the master, you were irreplaceable. Where unfortunately nowadays, anyone, male and female, are replaceable. It's a saddened era. But if we leave our partner today, chances are we'll probably get another one within a month, maybe a year, maybe 10 years, but we will be with someone else. And that is sad. So my point is, we've now, and that's why I said about the insecurities, if we've gotten to a point, especially from man, and this is where the woman might argue and say, oh, but Roche, you guys are talking bullshit here. I call bullshit. And that is in a scenario now, 2025, where that is the case, where people are semi-replaceable or replaceable. It's easier for a woman to move on than it is for a man. And I feel like that is just my opinion. That's my factual, that's what my brain tells me. All right? Depending on the woman, of course, and depending on the man. If you are a successful, handsome, hardworking man, you might move on quicker than a man that is insecure and just not in the right space, depressed and out of shape, or just not in a good space. So yes, there are variables of that, but the majority of times men would take longer to move on than women can, because women are beautiful. Men, we can't deny that women are our kryptonite. They are absolutely beautiful. Why do you think the porn industry is so intense? Because it's like a jewel. It's like you look and then you see this shiny object and you can't seem to take your eyes off of it. Now, obviously younger men and the teenagers, sometimes even younger, which is sad, you get stuck with that because you can't get a girlfriend at the moment. You're too young. So you watch all these videos and you see chicks on Instagram and on social media, and in the end you I mean, this might sound controversial, but in the end you almost feel like it's better just to have a virtual girlfriend than a real one, because at least a virtual chick in your mind can't leave you. So there's a lot of insecurities that I feel like men have, and women don't necessarily have that, because they have an emotional attachment. Men, we have a sexual, physical attachment to women. They're beautiful. Yes, we have emotion, of course. We love them. But it's, there's a lot of physical bonds that we, as men, struggle with when we separate. I've experienced many times in my life. Many times, with all my breakups in the past. And I feel like women they're sad for a week or two, they cry their eyes out, and then they move on. And they move on. Because they can get a man easier. Because men are, like I said, they're basically a Jew walking around, and other men are attracted to that Jew. When men, we're a bit on the rough edge, right? Like a piece of rock, maybe, a stone, drifting around looking for a gem. But I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. We all go through these things, and I think as a man, our purpose here is to get back to the fact that we are worthy. We are still those same men in the war field and things like that. We just need to find it inside ourselves. You need to find it inside yourself to know that you are not replaceable because you're unique. And that woman that you are now with or that you want to be with is, well, has chosen you because of your certain attributes. Maybe you're, kind. Maybe you are someone that gives a lot, very generous. Maybe you work really, really hard. Maybe you compliment her all the time. All these beautiful traits that you have, you need to use it and not be afraid of it. And you need to always tell yourself that if something does happen, that you are going to be okay and that you will get someone else. It's just how life works, you know? It's happened to me many times. Yes, of course, I'm married now. I'm very happily married. And I think it's probably because of all those times that I've broken apart. Now, I'm not talking necessarily to men that are, happily married. This could be for if you've broken your heart twice or three times and you have no hope for the future. I'm telling you there's hope. You just need to get back to your roots and to find a purpose again. Something that, a woman loves a man, I can tell you this from experience again, that has a vision and a purpose to do something great with their lives. Not, I want to get a world record in Fortnite, which is a game. I'm talking about real life. Something that is honorable, building a house from scratch, becoming a CEO of your company, working your way up from car salesman to management, losing 20 kilograms of weight, things that like a real purpose, making videos to help other men, things like that. Women look at that because, like I said, they don't care about abs. Yes, they do want you to look great. They want you to shave your beards clean so they can kiss you better, and they want neat hair, and they want a deep voice as a man because that's women like a masculine man. I mean, if a woman liked a feminine man, then they could just be a lesbian, right? They want a man. So you have to find that manly purpose. And I feel like as men, I said it literally in the beginning of the video, you have to have a purpose, and you need to be driven, and you need to be the protector and the provider. If they can see those four things, it doesn't even matter if you are providing already. If they can just see that you're actively looking to provide, golden. That's golden. You're set. Because in her mind, she looks up to you like that guy on the horse with the shield and the sword. And you're on your way to try your best. I mean, there's a dragon in front of you, but you're trying your best to provide and to protect and to have purpose. And she knows it's because of her too. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that I do and you potentially do is either to get a woman or to keep a woman. As simple as that. And then, of course, for me, it's a little bit more deeper than that. I also want to make God proud. Because I feel like without him, none of this really worth it anyway. So that's my little 2 cents. If you guys enjoy this chat, please let me down. Please let me down. Let me know in the comments down below so we can have more of these chats. And if there's any topics you'd like to discuss, if you want to be active, leave them down below. Subscribe, of course, and we can carry on these little conversations. All right. Have a good day.